¿Qué onda, lokos? It's Monday again. Y tú sabes. Mexican Movie Monday. Today's película we'll be looking at se llama Sin Nombre. Sin Nombre translates over to without a name, or you could say untitled. It's a perfect title for an anonymous backstory that it kinda is. Sin Nombre is about gang culture, poverty, immigration, a little bit of romance, and growing up. The movie follows two main characters, Casper, aka Willie, and Saida. Willie is a character with an almost unknown backstory, so you don't really see any familial members of his, and you don't really see any friends of his besides the gang members. It's kind of reminiscent of John Nada from They Live, and right off the bat we get to see how secretly empathetic he really is when he recruits Benito, a preteen looking kid who looks like he belongs nowhere near a gang. Saida is the second character. She's a girl from Honduras whose father has just come back to her and wants to transport her and her uncle to America. The father is safely to be assumed that he was deported from America since he has a family over there in New Jersey. Throughout the film, more of Willie's empathy actually shows, from his leniency to Benito and risking the mission to hang out with his girlfriend Marta Marlene. Every time Willie stares out a window or stares off into the distance, you can see him imagining leaving it all, leaving his gang behind, leaving his home behind. Cary Fukunaga, who actually wrote and directed this movie, wrote the screenplay for It Chapter 1 from 2017. He didn't write the screenplay for It Chapter 2, and I really did not like It Chapter 2, so that's a huge plus for him. When he was asked where the movie took place, he mentioned real settings versus stage settings. And after seeing the movie about 7 times this past week, I still can't tell you where the exchange actually occurs.
Even the house, the Destroyer house, which is the house of the gang members, is partially real and then partially built. So
once Saida gets on the train, I'm once again reminded of how realistic this journey really is. You know, Mara Salvatrucha used to be known for their affiliation with the train systems, since they knew that so many illegal immigrants used to hop on board to go to America. So MS-13 would hop on and steal and rape and murder from people. The director said he wrote the movie after he heard of the story with the 18-wheeler that had 80 people in the back of it, and about 18 of them, or 19 of them actually, passed away due to the heat.
The deadliest human smuggling case in the U.S. In May of 2003, 19 undocumented immigrants were found dead after being left in a locked trailer. They died of suffocation, dehydration, and hypothermia.
And he decided to write on it by going to Mexico and listening to people's testimonies, dozens of people on the train's testimonies, and used 2 gang members' testimonies as well, I think. In Cary Fukunaga's, this is actually his first feature-length film. The other 2 were short films. And I'm just saying, his middle name's Joji. Real talk, you know you're Latino if you have nicknames for all your friends. I used to know a guy named Smiley, Jefe, Flaco, Pelón, Indio, Lalo, Güero, Cara de Papa. And my grandma used to say, Te miras muy fuerte, Juan, if you had long hair. I don't know where they got the actors for this movie, but the MS-13 gang members are crazy good, specifically Mago.
No tenga pena, no la voy a morder.
Once again, we're on the train and Mara Salvatrucha is harassing people. Mago starts to assault Saida, and Casper just can't take it, so he slices Mago's throat. I grew up a block away from the train tracks in Laredo. I remember wanting to hop on and, ride it to another state or something. But I knew that MS-13 owned those trains in Laredo, so I wasn't about to risk something like that. Living in the present is something that's essential to this movie, and I think it's a construct familiar to so many other cultures, specifically because they live the day by day differently than we do in America, for the most part. This could have to do with the fact that poverty, danger, and medicine is different in other countries. So living each day by day is essential on the possibility of losing life day by day, so valuing death as a day by day possibility. Finally, MS-13 catches up with Casper the friendly gangster, and we catch a glimpse of La M, aka the Mexican Mafia, aka the gang from Blood and Blood Out. They're actually known for the amount of size that there are, so Laim is known for having the most gang members, and Mara Salvatrucha is actually known for being some of the most violent gang members. Saida and Casper separate from everyone and go meet up with a lady who can help take them across the border. You know, I also remember from growing up in Laredo, they talked about transporting illegal immigrants for about $2,000 per person. Saying that it was an easier job than working, I don't think so. So, quick snapshot of the movie. Saida's dad dies, the uncle gets taken by La Migra, and Casper finally dies. You know, kind of predictable stuff. Saida makes it across the border and goes on to write the Netflix special Living Undocumented. Hey, you never know. I really like this movie as a whole, and it kind of reminds me of like a folktale. Kind of legendary. Not like esoteric enough to be like a myth, but legendary in essence. I don't know how Cary Fukunaga got it so right off the bat.
This is your first feature film.
I don't know. I don't feel like it's... I can see where I didn't do things as well as I wanted to in the film. So.
But he did. I don't care which way you look at it. The story yields the great isolation of sacrifice and begs you to ask, was it all worth it? I highly recommend this movie. I remember passing it by when I was living in Laredo in 2009, thinking that it was like an extremely arty or art house film. I didn't want anything to do with that, or I thought it was almost documentary-like, and at the time I didn't like documentaries. So I just decided not to watch it, and I highly regret it. So if you get a chance to watch this movie, definitely do. Otra vez, I'm Mexican Chewy, and hasta mañana, locos.
Surprise!